Okay, so there's some controversy surrounding the new Lilo and Stitch movie. They cast an actress who is a native Hawaiian, but some people think that her skin isn't dark enough to play Nani, who is Lilo's aunt, I believe. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And so this guy, Black Conservative Perspective, that is his name. So it's a funny name. But yeah, he made a video about it. So let's see what he has to say.
Bombastic side eye.
Oh, wait.
Criminal
Me when I saw who they casted to play Nani in the live action Lilo and Stitch.
side.
So I had no idea who Sydney Agudong was. I had to Google her, which is literally free, by the way. And this is what I found out. Sydney Agudong, born on the 13th of November 2000 on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, United States. Of British Irish ethnicity with Hawaiian and Filipino ancestry. Her younger sister Sienna is actually the famous one in their family, so I looked her up. Of Hawaiian, Filipino, and European descent. Born in Kauai, Hawaii, of Hawaiian, Filipino, European descent. That's the same thing, but just expanded. So is the problem that she's not Hawaiian enough, or she's not Polynesian enough? Because there are plenty of instances on the internet where she's mentioned that she is of Polynesian descent. If you're of the mindset that she's not Polynesian enough, she's not brown enough, she's too white, or she has too much white blood, then that is literally a colonizer's mindset. You have no idea how colonization worked in Polynesia at all, or in any part of the world, because that's what colonization was. White people tried to breed out the Polynesian in all of us.
So this is the girl that has been cast to play in
I'm gonna be honest. Whenever people start talking about like colonizer in today's context, I'm like, bro, I don't even know. What do you, it's a movie. Is anybody being colonized? I don't know.
criticizing her because they think she's not dark enough. And I don't know what to say in this topic. I really do think that if you're going to do a live action, I would love for the character to look as close as the original character, but that's my opinion. What do you guys think of this? I mean, the girl is Hawaiian, so I guess they did something good there. But I don't know. I want people to play the characters. I don't know.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Guys, I gotta tell you, I absolutely love this story because what goes around comes around in woke Looney Tunes world, okay? Because the woke revolutionary is upset. The race hustlers, the race baiters, right? They're upset. They're pissed, okay? Because Disney is casting an actress who is too white, right, to play the role of Nani in their live action version of Lilo and Stitch, right? So the woke revolutionary is upset, okay? If you guys aren't familiar with Lilo and Stitch, that is a Disney show, a movie that came out a long time ago. I remember it. It's like a Hawaiian thing, right? It's like a Hawaiian thing, and the characters in this show are dark, okay? They're darker skin, like Polynesian, Hawaiian, like darker skin mix, right? And this is who they hired to play Nani, who I believe is the main character, Lilo's sister, I believe, okay? That's what I think. Now, again, the characters in Lilo and Stitch are Hawaiians, right? Now, again, they're depicted as darker skin, okay? Hawaiian, Polynesian, whatever, right? And the actor that they cast to play her, or to play Nani, right, in the live action, is also Hawaiian, okay? She's Hawaiian mixed with European and I believe Filipino descent.
Oh my gosh.
Right, but she's Hawaiian, okay? She was born in Hawaii, right? She's basically Hawaiian, right? But that's not good enough for the wokes. Again, because she's too white, okay? She's not dark enough to play this role. Take a look.
If you didn't know, Disney has casted Sydney Agudong to play Nani Pelekai.
Yeah, so my perspective on this right in the outset is that I personally like when I think of whether or not it's okay to like race swap a character, and this isn't even a race swap, because she's still Hawaiian, but I guess I'll just speak generally because, you know, he's generalizing the situation very much. But generally speaking, when we're talking about a race swap, my question is always, is the essence of what the character is that tied to the race? So, like, for example, when we're talking about a character like Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, race is very intrinsically tied to that character, right? Atticus Finch, he kind of has to be white. It doesn't really work if he's it wouldn't really work if Atticus Finch was a black man, because the whole point of that character is that he is a white man that is willing to represent a black man. Now, when we go to a character like, I don't know, like Nick Fury, for example, in Marvel, well, race doesn't really matter to who that character is. Like, the whole point of that character is that he's supposed to be like this very this amazing, incredible spy. He is supposed to be very like hard hitting and very intimidating, and he's supposed to have a certain gravitas to where he's a human that's able to stand up with superpowered heroes and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, nothing about that character intrinsically has anything to do with him being white or black, and we've seen in the past that he has been both white and black in live action and in comic books. So when we're talking about this Nani casting specifically, I haven't seen Little Mermaid or Lilo and Stitch in a really long time, but I want to say that at least the ethnic part about the whole thing, about them being Hawaiians, I'm pretty sure that is a pretty significant part of the story of Lilo and Stitch. I wanna say that that's the case. People can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, yeah, it would be a little weird if they just casted like a Chinese person as Nani. Like that would be weird. But at the end of the day, this aspect of like race swapping and whether or not it's okay or not okay is kind of irrelevant, because it's not even a race swap. It's like, she is Hawaiian. And I think it's like kind of disgusting that a lot of people are like, well, she's not Hawaiian enough. You know, it's not Hawaiian enough. It's like, she's a native Hawaiian. Like, can we calm down here? But anyways, that's my perspective. Let's see what else they have to say.
So we're going to talk about it. Right out the gate, she is Kakamo'oli. Her dad is Filipino and Hawaiian. So we're not talking about cultural authenticity. We are not touching blood quantum. We're talking about erasure and colorism. Nani is a darker skinned Hawaiian woman.
Wait,
Sydney
what did you
is
say?
a light-
Can I go back? Can I not, like, sorry, I'm like,
skinned Hawaiian woman.
I'm
And
using
I know
this
people
like
will be
feature
oh,
here that lets me. Do I really have to? Oh, this is stupid.
Well, they're both Hawaiian, so and we're talking about erasure.
Sorry, I'm using this
gate,
like
she is Kakamo'oli. Her
this
dad is
feature that like lets you play a YouTube video in the corner, but I'm not able to like skip back, which is annoying, without going back to the page. But whatever.
Filipino and Hawaiian. So we're not talking about cultural authenticity. We are not touching blood quantum. We're talking about erasure and colorism. Nani is a
Let me go
darker
back a
skinned
bit more.
Hawaiian
Hold on.
woman. Sydney is.
Take a look.
If you didn't know, Disney has casted Sydney Aguatong to play Nani Pelekai. So we're going to talk about it. Right out the gate, she is Kakamo'oli. Her dad is Filipino and Hawaiian. So we're not talking about cultural authenticity. We are not touching blood quantum. We're talking about erasure and colorism. Nani is a darker skinned Hawaiian woman. Sydney is a lighter skinned Hawaiian woman. And I know people will be like, oh, well, they're both Hawaiian, so what's the big deal? I am applying the same principle to Moana. As Pacifica people, we all acknowledge that we have that connection to our ancestors, to our culture, but we all do not look the same, meaning we do not have the same type of experiences and opportunities in life. Darker skinned Pacifica people were the representatives of Pacifica cultures in these films, meaning these opportunities should have gone to darker skinned Pacifica people. Casting a lighter skinned person is erasure of what Nani originally represented. It's colorism and a product of racism.
After seeing a lot of your comments, and
Yeah, so one of the arguments that I have seen revolving around this situation is that I guess Nani is a character that sort of struggles in life, and that part of that reason is because she is of a darker skinned, Hawaiian descent, and that I've heard people say that that's like kind of important to the story. I don't know if it actually is, but it's also just like there are also, I mean, I'm sure that there are also light-skinned Hawaiians that go through hardship as well. Especially, I'm pretty sure it's just like economic hardship, because she's like struggling to take care of her sister. So I don't
a lot of the discourse around this casting, there definitely is an emphasis on the colorism of this casting. And people pointing it out are totally right. And this is definitely not to put down or invalidate Sydney for being casted in this role. This is definitely more on Disney to realize that there was an opportunity here and they didn't take it. In my opinion, the concept around colorism with casting kind of comes down to trying to be more palpable for the mainstream majority audience, whatever mainstream society deems one over the other.
Know that this is why we play around with the idea of like a live action Princess and the Frog.
I don't agree with that. I don't know. I mean, at the very least, there's no real evidence that they casted her in order to appease racist people. It's like that is a claim that there's no real evidence for. And it's like, what, like, how, it's like weird to respond to, because it's just like, well, I think that this happened, and it's like, well, you don't know that this happened. There's really no evidence for it happening. It's like, all we can really assume is that they just liked her for the role, and unless like things get leaked, communications between executives at Disney that are like, we can't cast somebody too dark or else the racists aren't going to buy tickets. It's like, we just don't know that to be the case. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
I'm a fan casting online because we know what will happen if they ever did a live action version. Disney. Ooh, y'all fumbled this one.
Wait, what?
This is who they cast as Nani in the live action.
They think they're gonna cast a light-skinned Tiana or whatever.
Baby, the way the Hawaiian and Pacific Islander community are dragging Disney right now. Listen, baby. As someone who experiences colorism every day, I feel y'all's anger and frustration, baby. Cause listen, y'all really whitewashed Nani. I really am adding on extraness with my nails right now. Anyway, y'all know damn well Nani is my shade. Look at this. Mind you, I got like my good like fancy makeup on. Nani is my shade. In film updates, y'all try to act real slick, trying to change the freaking filter to make her look darker.
Yeah, so you guys seen that, you heard that.
So, and again, this is just minutia that it's like, I don't even know that they're even thinking about it. That I don't know if it's that deep. I just like, I can understand that when we're that in certain communities that a lot of these distinctions between lighter and darker skinned people are like super important. But I guess right now in my head, I'm trying to wonder, I'm like, is it really that deep when when the casting director was thinking about it? Like, were they really in their heads thinking like, oh yeah, we're out here erasing dark-skinned Hawaiians, That's what we're doing right here. I'm like, that's just such a weird thing, in my opinion. that I don't know if I believe that that's really something that was taken too deep into consideration. I don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant, but well, because for example, it's like Lupita Nyong'o is like a pretty dark-skinned person, and she's been cast in a bunch of stuff in Hollywood. She's not exactly being blacklisted from anything. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what else he has to say.
Now, these are the same people, the exact same people, who said it was racist. It was racism when the right said that race swapping Ariel and Tinkerbell was bad, right? That you shouldn't be race swapping, okay? Now, these same people who told us to shut up because we're racist, right?
So I don't know if he's gonna show receipts for that, but did people say did people call you out for being? Okay, I guess I should say, was there a significant amount of people saying that the people were upset by the race swap for Ariel? Did anybody call those people racist? Like me personally, I just called them like dumb, because it's like, who cares? That was all. That's my argument. Is like, who really cares at the end of the day? Because the character of Ariel, you know, race isn't an important aspect of that character. That's my argument. But I don't think you're racist necessarily. So I don't know if I agree with his framing here that was an especially like that was an important aspect of that conversation. I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean, I'm sure obviously there are going to be some people that do it.
They're now complaining because Disney essentially race swapped Nani, who is a darker skinned Hawaiian, not even black.
Again, I don't know if it's a race swap.
A darker skinned Hawaiian, they race swapped her, right, for a lighter skinned one. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, the mental gymnastics that I am reading of people trying to justify this and try to seem like, oh, this is an apples to oranges situation. It's not the same thing, right? It's just mind-blowing. Like, one of the things that people are saying is that, well, Tinkerbell and Ariel, it's okay to race swap them. It's okay to make white people black, okay, or white characters black, because the white race is not essential to the story, right?
True.
It's not essential to the story.
Okay, let's see what his counter argument is.
AKA the whiteness is not essential. But here, in this Lilo and Stitch live action, right? Apparently, all of a sudden, the color of the skin, okay? We're not even talking about ethnicity here. It's the same.
Well, no, because in Lilo and Stitch, if I remember correctly, and again, I could be wrong, if I remember correctly, they're like in Hawaii. They are Hawaiians. Hawaiian culture is like very prominent throughout the film. It's like it's very like the Hawaiianness of the characters are like very prominent. I don't remember if there are any specific like plot points that deal with Hawaiianness specifically. But like Hawaiianness is it's a pretty big aspect of the movie. When it comes to Tinkerbell or Peter Pan, it's like their whiteness, I don't think was ever like really an important aspect of that movie. I don't think that Tinkerbell's being white was ever a part of the plot. I think she just was white. So for Tinkerbell, it doesn't really matter if you race swap her. And for Ariel, I'm pretty sure she's a mermaid in Atlantis, and I'm like, I don't think that Atlantis was. I'm trying to. Does Atlantis? I'm getting real. I have no idea about the history of Atlantis, but at least in the movie, nothing about Atlantis was like especially white. I don't think. So yeah, if you want to make a black Ariel, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't fundamentally change the story. But again, going back to my example, if you tried to do like a black Atticus Finch now, that's kind of weird. You can't really do that because him being white is very essential to the story.
Same ethnicity, right? Same ethnicity. The color of the skin is essential to the story. And that's why race swapping or color.
Well, yeah, and then yeah, I mean, I agree with him. I think it's like if it's the same ethnicity, it's like what are we, what are we really quibbling about over here?
Color swapping or skin color swapping, whatever you call it, is not okay here, right? It's not okay. Again, I think this is the same argument they would use regardless of whether or not the race is essential to the story, right? They would always use the argument of, well, race is essential when they're black, right? But race is not essential when they're white.
Not me. Hey, give me a white blade. Okay, I need Hollywood to do this so that I can have a good example. All right. Well, actually, I will say also the thing about like black characters and minority characters is that, truth be told, oftentimes it feels like, at least because I'm struggling to think of good examples, but it feels like oftentimes, like race does end up being pretty like essential to the character. Like when I think of like Black Panther, it's like, yeah, him being black is like pretty important to who that character is. Like Luke Cage, pretty important to who that character is. But I guess like, yeah, like I think Blade, and I don't know that much about Blade, but I feel like you could do a white Blade and it would probably be fine. I don't think that him being black is really super essential to who that character is. So Hollywood, I need you to make a white Blade movie so that I can have a good example to turn to.
Again, the hypocrisy here coming from the left is mind-blowing. It's in your face and they don't care. They're doing exactly what I told you guys they would do. Well, everybody knew. You guys knew. You guys were smarter than me. You knew.
And while I don't know that, I don't know if it is hypocrisy because well, at least, obviously it's hard to generalize this, but I think a lot of people like do contend that the dark skin nature of, or at least I've seen some arguments that, the dark skin nature of Nani, when you look at the history of Hawaii, and what certain struggles that dark-skinned Hawaiians face, that was kind of relevant to the struggles that Nani also faced in Lilo and Stitch. Again, I'm not really sure about that argument. That seems a bit too, like, too in the weeds for my opinion. It's like, it's fine. It's whatever. But to be fair, when they argue about Nani, it's like they are arguing that, that her skin is essential to the story. So it would be incumbent on you, black conservative perspective, to argue as to why to argue against that and say that, Nani's character in this movie isn't actually essential to the story. But I wouldn't say that it's hypocritical necessarily. But obviously, I do think that a lot of characters, a lot of these people would be hypocrites anyways, because, like if they did a white Blade, people would be mad. Even if Blade's blackness isn't necessarily essential, there's no doubt that a lot of people would be mad.
Right? You knew. We all knew that if you take a so-called black character and you make him white, let's say you made the Black Panther Ryan Gosling, these people will lose their minds. But at the same time,
that probably would
they'll
happen,
tell you
to be
shut
fair.
up and that you're a bigot if you get mad that, hey, they're making white characters black, right? Again, the hypocrisy here is stunning. Because at the end of the day, this is what the agenda is. The agenda is not for
What is the agenda?
Representation and diversity, right? It's not the actual agenda. The agenda is to make things less white. Okay? That's the actual agenda.
Well, when most things are white, if you're trying to make things diverse, then yeah, like there is going to be less white things in the in entertainment. That's kind of a goofy argument in my opinion, because it's like if you had a bowl and it was just filled with apples, and you're like, I want to diversify this bowl of fruit, and then the apple committee came around and they were like, you don't want to diversify the bowl of fruit. You just want less apples. And it's like, well, yeah, in order to diversify the bowl of fruit, it's like, yeah, there are going to be less apples. So I don't know. That's kind of a weird argument on his part.
The whiter the characters, the better, right? Because again, race swapping cool when you're erasing whites, race swapping bad when you're erasing blacks, and it's not even.
Well, but that's what makes the situation so weird, because it's like you're not even like erasing whites here necessarily. You would be, or like they're not even erasing Hawaiians in this situation. It's just people being very particular about like, oh, this Hawaiian isn't Hawaiian enough for me, which is just a really weird situation. Also, by the way, really unfortunate for the actress, because it's like she's basically being told by a bunch of people like, oh, you're not Hawaiian enough. It's like, Jesus.
Like black people, just darker skinned people. If you make a darker skinned person slightly lighter, right, than they are in the original story, oh, that's bad. That's colorism, right?
Yeah.
They can't say really racism.
It's like weird.
They're both Hawaiian. It's colorism, right? Again, it just blows my mind. It just the hypocrisy just never ends. I can't do anything but laugh because it's just so in your face. It's so in your face, and we try to tell these people, bruh, stop race swapping. Just stick to the original characters and what they look like.
Nah, see, this is my whole thing as well. It's like, I'm fine with people messing around with stuff. Like, yeah, go crazy, go race swap, go do a bunch of stuff. You know, I just think it's like it's a good idea to just like maintain the essence of what the character is. Only because it's like you don't want to go too far to where it's like you don't even recognize the thing that you're adapting anymore. But it's like otherwise it's like, yeah, go do crazy stuff, go tell take properties and tell interesting stories with it. That's why I'm fine with race swapping. I'm fine with like adaptations going in different directions than the source material. I think it's boring to just be like, no, you have to be exactly the same as the original thing, or else it's bad. It's like you can't take any risks or anything. You can't diverge at all from the source material. It's like, no, give artists creative freedom and let them go make weird and wacky stuff. Because it's like if and this is always my perspective on remakes just in general. It's like, yeah, if they change stuff and it ends up being worse, then okay, whatever. We can just go back and watch the original thing. But if it's good, then cool. We have a cool new movie to watch. So yeah, that's why I'm not gonna go to the other direction that this guy's going into, where it's just stop race swapping, because I think it's fine to just do different things with IP. You know, it's always funny because, and I don't know what position this guy has on it, but I do find it funny that that people will on one hand go, oh, you know, intellectual property rights are bad and everything should be in the public domain. But if you so much as like change one thing about like a popular IP, people will lose their minds. It's like you want like stuff to be in the public domain, but you just want it to be the exact same as it already is. It's like what would even be the point of that? But yeah, that's my perspective on that.
And therefore you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. No problem. Right? But again, these people want race swapping. All right, cool. And this is why I say the best way to red pill these people is to give them what they want. Oh, you guys want race swapping? All right, cool. We're gonna race swap out the black characters for whites. Let's see if you like it. Right?
I would like it. Do it.
Actually, I want just somebody. And this, I don't know if this is a multi-$100 million movie idea or what, right? Or it could be, you know, a complete bomb. Okay, it's boom or bust. This is the ultimate boom or bust. I just want one movie production company to make a movie about MLK or some major civil rights figure.
No, see there, he's losing the plot here. The thing with MLK is that him being black is intrinsic to the source material. It is, and it's not hypocritical for me to say that. it's not hypocritical for me to be okay with Tinkerbell being black, because Tinkerbell's whiteness in the original Disney movie was not integral to who the character was. MLK being black, kind of important. I don't know if you realize this, but yeah, MLK him being black was pretty important to what people knew him for. So yeah, false equivalency, sir.
Make them white. Right? Just make them white. And I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it. Just do it. And see what the reaction would be. Right? It would be the ultimate boom or bust thing. And I guarantee you that would end all race swaps. Wow. Again, this is why you should just make original characters. Make original characters and stories, and then you don't have to worry about all this stuff. You don't have to worry about it. But hey, you know, again, here we go. Once again, the leftists and their hypocrisy.
Well, I don't like that argument either, because it's like you can do both. You can do race swaps, and you can make original characters. It's not it's not one or the other. It's like I find that like a lot of like anti-woke people will be like, they'll like pretend to like care about diversity, and they're like, we want real diversity, we want original characters that are black, and it's like, well, yeah, you can do race swaps. You can do race swaps, and you can make new original characters. And then you quickly realize that no, they're just weirdly against race swaps. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with them wanting like true diversity or whatever. Because you can do both. Because that's the thing as well. Because it's like Hollywood does plenty of original black characters too. You look at like Jordan Peele movies. Obviously, when you look at something like Black Panther, those characters were originally black. It's like it's not like there's this. It's not like Hollywood doesn't also do original black characters.
Full circle, okay? Coming full circle. You wanted race swapping. You wanted the swap skin colors, and Disney gave you what you want, right? They gave you what you want. They picked a lighter skin, Nani, right, for Lilo and Stitch. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.
Yeah, so I guess to summarize my thoughts on all of this, as far as the whole Nani situation, I think that's getting way too in the weeds, being like, well, she's not, her melanin count isn't enough for her to play Nani. It's like, she's a native Hawaiian. She's a native Hawaiian, it's fine, in my opinion. Like, let's chill out, let's calm down here. But then, yeah, I also do think that Mr. Black Conservative Perspective, I guess I'll just call him Mr. Perspective since he doesn't have like an actual name. Yeah, I do think I do wish that he would have engaged with the concept a bit more honestly, because it's not hypocritical. Yeah, it's not hypocritical to say that that I am okay with race swapping if the race of the character isn't essential to who the character is, and that's why, yes, it is not hypocritical to have a problem with a white MLK, but also not have a problem with a black, or with a black Tinkerbell. It's not hypocritical because that logic is consistent. So I don't know. I wish he would have more honestly engaged with that hypothetical there. But overall, I don't disagree with him that there probably are a lot of whatever woke people, however you want to call them, that probably are hypocrites anyways. Because I guarantee, if they ever announced, like I said, like a Blade movie where Blade was white, and again, from what I understand, I don't think blackness is essential to who Blade is. Yeah, there would be a bunch of people that would be mad. Like that probably would happen. But we need to wait for these situations to actually occur before we can start calling out the hypocrisy. Although, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, you know what? Yeah, well, nah, I was gonna say maybe the Nani situation is enough of a it is enough to call out whatever perceived hypocrisy. But at the end of the day, this is such a this is such a specific situation that again, I don't know if I would, because it's like the backlash is coming from Hawaiians that in their worldview, they do earnestly believe that that Nani's dark skin color is essential to who the character is. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments down below, because there's no doubt that it's a bit of a weird situation. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.